Okay, I just want to go over today's pre-market plan. The market is still open for about another half hour, but all the ranges hit. I assume that we're just going to consolidate in this area. So let's go over NQ first and ES with the confluence through NQ that made me take my second and third trade. We'll start off with ES because that's the first trade I took. I said inside the previous zone under 4920, I'll look to take it to 4910, then 4900. VX is always key here when I'm moving out of range. We can look for confirmation in here from buyers on the tape for 4910 area and 4900 to exit or reverse this position. Getting long in any of these areas, I'll look to take it back to 45-minute supply. I have a key area at 4912 right here and then demand just underneath at 4900. This being said, ES wedge in this key area right here. We start to drop under 4920 and I get in short. Let me just zoom this in. I get in short all the way down here. I start to see buyers come back alive over here. I say at 1140, I see two things happening. ES bringing NQ down and we make lower lows and keep on coming, or ES finding a bid just above lows and short squeezing NQ rockets. I sold one contract at 4904 and my stop is 4905. Just because I wanted to see a big shoot down and not that much consolidation in the area. I said, so it's either we fall through or I'm out. This might turn around. I'm getting in NQ longs if it does. And then I stopped out my last contract at 49.05. So we come down, we come back up, we find resistance at 49.12, like I had previously on the charts. And then we start to see this little wedge in this little buyback right here. Buyers stepping right back in. So I immediately exit my position, and then I get in NQ longs. With this second dip down, making a double bottom, NQ held a nice wedge in here and made a 30-minute demand. So I immediately got long when I saw this. And my profit target was 17,390, 10 points shy of 17,400, just in case we fall there. And I ended up stopping out for a 10-point profit. I was long at 17,331.75. I said it's a very ugly 15-minute and 30-minute candle. If we close down here, ES is double topping. We want to see ES short squeeze, and then it'll fuel NQ to come up to 17,400. My stop got moved to 17,343.25. And as we wedged, we fell, and I got out somewhere in here, and then I immediately got back in when we held this level and reclaimed. So I got in about 2 points under my stop out. Now, everyone could have said I could have held this trade to break even, but this is also us validating this trade, and my thesis was correct. If my thesis was incorrect, we could have stopped me out at break even, or we could have went down to my max drawdown over here, and I would have had a losing trade instead of a 10-point profit. So I immediately got back in when things looked better, and I said I'm back in at 17341. I said I have no problem putting in very little risk, especially when I'm in profit. Entry was on perfect volume. Buyers defending, I got in almost dead bottom. Shot right up afterwards, basically no risk. My stop is already at break even. I said I see an inverse head and shoulders here. I'll add to my position if it comes back down. I did not add to my position, and I said it will either be fill or kill at 1:50 p.m., which is 10 minutes pre-news. I ended up trailing this up, moving my stop up to 1736, 1738. I said ES needs to make a higher high. We will squeeze then. Noticing this at 49112, which is over here. We're consolidating around this area, and then we finally break through. Once we broke through, I said the fact that NQ has moved this much means once ES aids, if we can get in a hold over 4912, I think 4700 is very easy. I'm sorry, 17400 is very easy. And then I move my take profit up from the original 1739 to 17403, I believe, which is right here. First take profit was 17403. Second take profit was 17417. Like I said, I gradually moved my stop up. It's moved to 17,361. We're starting to run out of some steam. I said I want to see buyers step in and squeeze. And then I moved my stop up to 17,369, then 17,380. And then we squeezed to 17,400. And then I moved my stop up to 17,385. And I took my first take profit at 17,401. And then I moved my stop. to 17,395. And then my stop hit immediately. So it was a 70-point trade for me on this one right here. Then we wedged. News came. We came back into demand. We shot all the way up to 17478, which was another key zone for me. I had it in the pre-market plan. And then we immediately dumped past demand. Now at the beginning of demand where it was previous support here, a little bit here and here, we saw resistance again, and then we finally came down to 17255, which again was in the pre-market plan for everything. I said I expect 17300 to hit and then 17255. And ES with the same thing, 4930 key area. We hit it, we come back into demand. Previous of the bottom demand becomes resistance again, and then we get back into this secondary demand in here, which it looks like we're actually going to fall through by bell's end right now. So that's exactly how I play my pre-market plans. I mean, they work to a T every time. These are key zones where I use volume and support and resistance, supply and demand to make these key areas, which I look to get long or short off of. And you can see every time we hit these zones, we either have a reversal or a wedge where more volume comes in, that we take them, they get used as supports or resistances like up here. So today alone, I got one good trade on ES. This you can consider a scratch, even though that I put 10 points out on the board with this one. And then we got a nice about 60, 70 point move from this original area, key area right here, back up before we started to see some sellers come into the tape.